Hello my fellow gamers and welcome to Pedophiles of Videos. Today we are back to Planet Zoo on a video which is going to show you how to make your zoo's visitors, or should I say guests, happy and have them spend more money at your zoo. Before I begin on how, I first need to explain what. What are the visitors' needs that you need to satisfy to make them happy? To be able to view the needs of your guests, all you have to do is click on any guest you can find and that will bring up his information card. On the window that pops up, you will find the guest status, his recent thoughts, his needs, and his education level. What this video is going to cover is the part about the guest needs and their educational level, which is actually how much education your zoo is giving out about the animal species in it. Those are the 5 bars which you can see here, and they are the general happiness, energy resting level, hunger, the food need, thirst, the drink need, and the need for a bathroom. The separate education bar shows you how much the visitors are learning about the animals they see in your zoo. I will talk more about this once I cover the first 5 needs. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment about what would you like to see more of on this channel. And please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So, the general happiness shows you how much your guests are enjoying your zoo. There are several elements that come together for this rating. How clean your zoo is, for example, the attractiveness of your animals, then do the visitors see any staff facilities, because this last one impacts happiness negatively. The next bar represents the need for resting, or the guest's energy level, and this tells you how tired the guests are and how much rest they need while in your zoo. If this bar gets very low and the guest does not find a place to rest inside of your zoo, he will have to leave your zoo. And you definitely don't want this to happen, as the time spent in your zoo directly correlates, in other words, increases the amount of money the guests spend inside of your zoo. So, to keep the guests in your zoo for as long as possible and earn as much as possible from them, you have to have places for the guests to rest and recuperate, so that they can get their energy level back. These can primarily be benches for them to sit and rest on, but there are even more options, and this is just the basic one. The third bar represents hunger, the need to eat food. Your guests get more hungry the more time they spend walking around your zoo. Just like with the energy level, if a guest cannot find a place to eat and bring that bar back up to green, he will have to exit your zoo in search of food. This is why you have to place food stands around your zoo and staff them with vendors. A food stand does come with a vendor by default, but a single vendor won't be able to cover the entirety of the working hours of your zoo. This is why you will need to employ additional vendors who will work in the other shifts. The placement of the food stands is also highly important, as you need to watch your guest information cards and set the food courts at the places where your guest's food level is low enough for them to actually need to eat. If you place the food stands too close to the entrance to your zoo, it is far too soon, because they are not yet hungry. But if you place them at the end of your zoo, guests might not even get there by the time they are starving, and they will leave your zoo hungry and dissatisfied. The same thing applies to the next need, thirst. Drink stands follow the exact same logic, but you need to watch the guest information card, as they might not get thirsty at the same time they get hungry, so the location of the food and drink stands might not be the same. Just like the previous 2 needs, the need for a bathroom is satisfied with the placement of a guest facility, a toilet. And a toilet's position also requires studying the guest information card and watching for the places where your guest's need is the highest for best placement. And of course, don't forget the ATMs. These 3 needs, when they are satisfied in your facilities, they generate income for your zoo. But the placement of these guest visitor facilities will mean the difference between making a profit on them or losing money. As mentioned before, placing these facilities too soon or too late inside of your zoo and on its paths will not satisfy the guest's needs on time, and it will turn out to be only a financial drain. But with good placement, it will allow you to generate profits and add a steady income for your zoo. On top of that, meeting guests' needs will make them happier, and they will keep walking throughout the zoo for longer, which means more money left at the donation boxes in front of the animal habitats. Besides that, the happier the guests are when they are leaving your zoo, the higher will your zoo's standing go up, and the more guests will turn up at your gates. An important note to make here is that when you're starting a new zoo, it is not a very big zoo and there isn't enough to do and see there, so the guests might be leaving before they actually even need to eat, drink or use the toilets. So in order to place the toilets and the food and drink stands on time, you just have to watch their needs and see just how long they are spending in your zoo, and only once they spend enough time to get hungry and thirsty and need a toilet, then you need to place these buildings. Otherwise, they're just going to be a financial drain. Now for the last part of the information card for guests, the education part. And do note that this one does not impact their happiness directly. Guests can simply leave your zoo without learning anything and just having a good time. So they'll be happy, but they will not have learned anything, nor will have your zoo increase its standing. As I said before, the education bar shows you how much guests are learning about the animal species that they see in your zoo. There are several facilities and small objects that you can use to increase the educational level. Firstly, you can use regular information boards. Place them next to habitats on which you can add information about the animal species in those habitats or exhibits. Besides those, there are conservation boards which will educate your guests on the animals living in the wild, their conditions, and just how endangered those species are. To be able to increase the educational level of your visitors even higher, you can add speakers which are going to play environmental sounds next to the habitats, as well as educational speakers which will play a narrator's voice as he talks about a particular animal species. And that will be all that you need to know about how to make guests happy and educated. If you would like to see how to set up your first zoo in the franchise mode and then start earning money as soon as you open up the gates to visitors, you can see my video that is going to be linked up here. Also, there are 2 videos that are going to show you how to make cave systems or land bridges. Thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos.